deserves half? You think so? Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just curious. Hands high. One.
It's half.
No, I'm gonna do different percentages. So you say half. You say 20 years, half. Okay. Do you think she deserves 30% of your wealth?
After 20 years?
And the people that didn't say 50, 30%. Does she deserve 20%?
20.
20%. You give her 20.
Yeah, 20 is cool.
All right. 10%. Does anyone think 0%? Okay. Does anyone think more than 50%? Okay. I'm just curious.
My perspective is a little bit different. I mean, like I am married. I didn't raise my hand. I can't imagine. I mean, this is my perspective, so it's very subjective. So I can't imagine any reason that I would get divorced. I think it would have to come down to something that's absolutely uncontrollable. Like there's nothing that I could think about at this point in time. You know, maybe there's an addiction, or maybe there could be the death of a child. Sometimes you just can't come back from that. But my thing about it is like if I had to outside of my control get divorced, I feel like I could sit down over breakfast and have a conversation, because the intent is that you don't marry like an a-hole, right? You sit down and you say, look, I don't think this relationship is viable. Can I get your help for the next 3 to 6 months? How much do you think you could do? This is when I expect I can get a job. I feel like you can negotiate. I think women are too quick to go to the court over things that you can really settle down over breakfast. But I think it's the women typically that don't want to be an adult in that situation. And I think that that's wrong.
Yeah, I think that if she spent a certain amount of time with you and she's invested in you, in your growth, now that might not be, like you mentioned about the Jeff Bezos thing. He had nothing really until he didn't have when he married her, he didn't have nothing to a certain degree to what he's got now, right? So she's factored into that to some degree of success. Now, that might not be from a business aspect, but it's from some of the things we've mentioned here today on the board. Peace, support, etc., etc. And I feel like that is not a reward, but almost like maybe a payout, or just like a compensation to some degree. Yeah. But she has to, but this goes back to our point before of like, this is why we spend a lot of time vetting them to even get the ring in the first place, because you want to feel like, okay, she's built me up to a certain way where I wouldn't feel too bad about giving her half, because she's been there from the bottom, and I'm like
I'm a huge believer in whatever you have before marriage. That's his, that's hers.
I agree.
That's what I believe. But whatever is after the marriage, like a decent split. But whatever's before the marriage is fully separate. So whatever happens beyond that, I think it's a fair split.
All right. Raise of hands. Do you think men should pay child support? Yes. Yes. If you think yes, raise your hand.
It depends on the context. So if I know all the money is going to the children, yeah.
Okay. So, interesting. So you
mentioned.
So 100% of men. Okay. Interesting.
But it's like what you're saying just there. It
Only
needs to make
if I know.
If it's going to the child.
If I don't know, then I'm paying for the child myself.
Yeah.
I will pay the child myself.
I think women are stupid about
that.
I think women are so dumb sometimes, because, like, let's say you had a cool baby daddy, right? You guys were chilling, co-parenting, whatever. And then you got this little bug in your ear talking about, take him to child support. Put him on child support. Like that man might be offended and give you less. And he was already going to be involved in the child because he wants that kid. But now you as the woman, you're going to get $300 or $500 a month. You're stupid. You could have been getting like a couple grand. Or if you stayed in the relationship, you could have been getting all the resources. But the married woman did not raise her hand. No child support for me. No.
Yeah. I just don't know why we're paying girls to leave.
Yeah.
Like that's my like, that's the way I think about it. I'm like, why does she get money? I didn't get pregnant.
Yeah, no money for her.
I hear it. It's like taking away accountability.
But I think guys have this innate like protection almost towards women. So I just think it's kind of in guys.
I'd be more thinking about the kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know how I think we solved the child support problem? Men should just get custody of the children.
Yeah. And that's...
How many of you think that? You think men should automatically get custody of the children?
I mean, the results show it,
better.
Statistically, fathers do a lot better.
100%.
Depends on the age of the kids.
Okay.
Because they actually improve, like you're saying, statistically, like they will keep the sons out of jail and the girls, the daughters off the stripper pole.
I think that there's a time for mum and then there's an age for dad.
Why do you say no?
I say no because I would imagine I'd pick a good woman to look after my child and I'd still be involved. So my involvement is going to steer them in the right direction. So,
okay, I'm going to read super chats because I haven't read them on the show.